So I started looking at some footage over the past few days for the Osmo Pocket, and it had just occurred to me, this camera has been out for over a year now, and I've been using it to make YouTube videos, bring on family trips, document behind the scenes from shoots. And so in today's video, I want to go over using the Osmo Pocket over the last year and why it has become my most used camera in my camera arsenal. But we're in downtown Fort Lauderdale right now. Let's head to the beach as I've been on this workout plan to try and lose 50 pounds. I'm about halfway down so far, but I got my bike right over here. So let's get this journey started. Now, for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name's Jeff Fagien. I'm a filmmaker, DP, and content creator, and I've been in the industry for well over 10 years now. I started when I was in high school in 2008 and went from action sports to documentary filmmaking to narrative, and then now we're in this whole era of YouTube content creation. Now, today's video isn't necessarily going to be a review of the Osmo Pocket, more of an overview of my use with this camera over the past year. I've been using DJI products for quite a long time too, starting with their DJI Phantom and all the way to the DJI Mavic 2 Pro and then the original Osmo Pocket. So when the Osmo Pocket 3 was released and they announced it was going to be a 1-inch censored camera with 10-bit 4K footage, I knew I had to jump at it. Ever since I moved to Fort Lauderdale, I've been doing a crazy amount of biking just because it's fun to bike in this city. And when I started bringing the Osmo Pocket on my biking journeys, that's when I started realizing this camera can do a lot more than I ever anticipated, especially with its ability to do face tracking like I'm using now, where I don't really have to exactly know where the camera is at all times. As long as the face tracking's on, I know I'm being tracked. And that's been one of the really cool things with this camera, especially when I'm using something like an anamorphic adapter that we're filming with right now. The face tracking still works and works really great. Part of the reason I don't really use the slow motion options that much in this camera is just because when you're dealing with cameras like these that shoot already at such a low bit rate, even though they have 10-bit video, when you shoot slow motion, that same bit rate gets divided among the same amount of frames. So when you're filming at 24, you get more data in each frame, or when you're filming at 60 or 120, you have a lot less data in each frame. So for me, I'm trying to get the ultimate image quality out of this camera. And to do so, you shoot in 4K 24 and you shoot in the D-Log-M color profile in 10-bit. You do have to color correct your footage, but you get really decent looking footage. Now I'm just using a normal polarizing filter. Actually got to change it right here to get it to the right setting. But this is a really easy filter to use. I just plop it on and it's one of the beauties of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 case. Let me actually go grab it out of my backpack because when you take a look at this, here is the Osmo 3 case that comes with it. And as you see on the inside, there's actually a place to put filters. So although I never planned on using filters with the Osmo Pocket 3, because the whole point for me is to just have a really easy camera to just get out of my pocket and start filming, this case has magnetic slots for filters. It has one magnetic slot for a filter on the bottom, and then it actually has a slot right up here on top for the magnetic adapter, which lets me bring the anamorphic adapter with me whenever I want to use it. And I don't have to think about it. When I want to use it, I have it. When I don't want to use it, then I just don't use it. Now, just so you didn't say I wasn't using it, here is the Osmo Pocket 3 with the built-in microphones. Now, I pretty much use the DJI Mic 2s all the time, just because you have a more direct microphone. They sound a little bit better due to that. They're a little bit closer to my mouth, and when I do stuff like biking with the Osmo Pocket, it just sounds a lot clearer. So this is what it sounds like at the beach on a windy day, just like the rest of this video, but with the internal microphones facing me. So hope you understand why I use the Mic 2s now. So for most of this video, I've been using the Osmo Pocket handheld, which is really convenient, but I can't quite get the wide angle I need to vlog. So now I'm using my selfie stick, which extends the camera out a little bit more, but also gives me a slightly wider field of view that I'm a little bit more comfortable with. As you can see, you can't even really see me holding the selfie stick because it's still too telephoto to see my arm stretched out like it looks when I'm using action cameras. So This is the way I vlog most of the time with the Osmo Pocket. It adds a little bit more time because I do have to bring a selfie stick, and I do use the extension piece on the bottom of the Osmo Pocket in order to mount it to the selfie stick. But I use an F38 quick release plate. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested, because it does make this overall process quicker. But it also just, in my opinion, makes my videos look better. We're biking back into downtown because, as you can see, it's the first good weather day here in a while. So the beach is absolutely packed today. And it's one of the things I love about the Osmo Pocket. I can come out here and vlog, and I'm not having a million people stare at me like I do when I'm using something like the FX30. So as you can probably tell, I am now back to using the DJI Mic 2. The audio is a little bit clearer. It's less muffled. I also am able to put a wind muff on it, so the wind noise isn't quite as bad, but also the noise isolation works just a lot better on the Mic 2. Not because the Mic 2 is necessarily a much better microphone itself. I really feel like it has to do with the mic placement. It's so much closer to my mouth and it's not moving at all times. It doesn't have as much of a chance of getting covered by my fingers. There are plenty of times that I've accidentally covered the microphone built into the Osmo Pocket just from accidentally covering it. I didn't mean to. It just happens. When I'm hand holding the Osmo and I'm vlogging, I'm trying to do things as quickly as possible. It's why I'm using the Osmo instead of using a mirrorless camera. So sometimes issues like that happen, and the Mic 2, just wearing it magnetically on my shirt like I am now, really prevents a lot of those issues where I have to go re-record something because the audio just wasn't quite up to snuff. Now, I don't know if you could see it. I'm actually using an Osmo Action 5 on my helmet right now. And I've been using the Action 5 and even the Action 4 before the 5 came out a lot with the Osmo Pocket. The main reason I use the Osmo over something like the GoPro is the color science. It's D-Log M on all three of the cameras. The Action 4, the Action 5, the Osmo Pocket 3, even my drones, they all use D-Log M. So it's a lot easier to just copy and paste color grades between all three of the cameras without having to do a completely different color grade every single time. And that's why I'm pretty much for vlogging in a complete DJI ecosystem. It just makes editing videos, color grading videos, filming in general, a lot quicker. And for vlogging, quickness and workflow are my two #1 things, because I'm not trying to make a movie here. I'm just trying to make a vlog.
As you may be able to tell so far, I pretty much only use this for video. Now, I know there's photo modes, there's panoramic modes, there's time-lapse modes, and I've used them, but on a regular basis, I pretty much only use this thing to capture really quick and easy video. Here is the selfie stick I was talking about earlier, and I use it for two reasons. One reason, which is the main reason, is this thing is all metal. So when I extend it and I'm doing stuff like biking or out and about and there's just a lot of vibrations, this thing is really solid, unlike most selfie sticks that are made out of plastic and have a little bit of bounce when you're doing this. And this has nothing because it's made out of all metal. The other thing is the quick release. It's made by Ulanzi. It uses the Fagien F38 quick release plates. So literally, I just press it and it slides off. So I pretty much leave this quick release plate on the bottom piece of my Osmo at all times. And that allows me to just leave the Osmo in its normal configuration. Then when I'm ready to use it in the selfie stick mode, I literally just plop this thing on and slide this in, and it's good to go. And it's very solid. I mean, extremely solid. And that's why I can bring this thing around, bike with it, and not really worry about anything. Now, minor thing, there is a little cold shoe mount right here that you can use to put the transmitter on if you want to leave it there for traveling. I pretty much just leave the transmitter clipped up to the top of the Osmo Pocket case. But I do really like this little selfie stick here. I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested, because this thing was life-changing for me. The fact that I could just really quickly change the angle, extend it out, and boom, I've got this thing at a really nice, comfortable angle in front of me has been life-saving and life-changing when it comes to vlogging. Now, let's talk about something that's not necessarily the topic everyone wants to get into, but let's talk about charging. Now, the Osmo Pocket charges pretty quick and the battery lasts a decent amount of time. Now, the majority of times, I just use the Osmo Pocket like this. I don't have any kind of external battery grip for it. And this will last me the majority of a day because I'm kind of turning it off and on as I go. I don't really leave this thing on. But I do have a specific charger I use on the go that is not made by DJI, but I use it because I can use it with multiple cameras, not just the Osmo Pocket. And it's this from Anker. I did a dedicated video on it a year ago when I bought it because I was so impressed. This thing is a small power bank. It outputs 22.5 watts, but it's a 5000 mAh battery, so it's pretty decent. It charges the Osmo Pocket at least twice. But the reason I like this thing, it's got a built-in USB-C right here. So literally when I want to charge the Osmo, I don't have to bring a cord. I just pop it in and it starts charging. Let's see if it pops up. Yep, there we go. It starts charging, and it also shows that it's fast charging because this is a fast charger, not just a charger. It's 22.5 watts. So it charges the Osmo Pocket really quick. Should also mention the cool part about the DJI products. When you're actually using a fast charger on them, it does say fast charging underneath the percentage right here. So that's how you know you're charging pretty quickly. I love this thing just because it fast charges my Osmo Pocket on the go. But again, I use this not just for the Osmo Pocket. I use it for my Osmo Action 5, fast charges that. Also, once I upgraded to the iPhone 15, I was able to bring one external battery that's really small. It's like the size of a thing of lipstick. I just leave it in my pocket a lot of the times, leave it in my bag. It takes up no room, and I can charge all of my devices. Another thing to note is, although it does have the built-in USB-C right here, which you can also plug into a jack to charge, it has an in and out USB-C right here, an input and an output. And you can use this to charge this battery bank with a USB-C cord, but you can also get power out of it and charge any device. And the reason I mention that is because this thing's built in, there are certain devices that just may not work with it, because it's built in and it's got a specific form factor to it. So if you need to use a normal cord, you can, and you could just plug it in right here. This thing charges pretty quick. I'm not affiliated with Anker. I bought this thing on Amazon. But if you want to look at anything I discussed in today's video, make sure to click the links in the description below, and I'll take you to the Osmo Pocket, some of the filters I use, like the Anamorphic filters, the Selfie Stick, the charging little battery bank that I have right here. This is straight up the smallest battery bank I own, and definitely the most useful. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the Osmo Pocket. It is my everyday camera, my vlog camera. In a lot of cases, when I'm outside of the studio, my YouTube camera, behind the scenes camera. I have put this thing to work over the past year. I've also dropped it quite a few times, and this thing still works. Now, the highest I've dropped it was about 5 feet, and I'm really surprised that this thing still works because it did not have the case on it. But one thing I would recommend is, if you're going to bring this thing into kind of difficult places, you're going to be rough with this, I probably would get the extended warranty that DJI offers, just because they will replace this thing for a nominal fee. And if you're going to be really rough with it, it's worth it. I did not get it, and I definitely regret it, only because I do try to be a little bit more careful with this Osmo Pocket because I don't have that warranty. If it breaks, I'm just going to have to buy a new one from scratch. But I am glad to see that after the times that I have dropped this, especially on super windy days where I forgot to bring a tripod and I just put this thing maybe on a table or something to record myself, it's dropped. But I'm glad to see that other than some scratches on the body itself, it's still working flawlessly. So if you have any questions or anything you want me to cover on the Osmo Pocket 3, let me know in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos from the channel. And until next time, my name's Jeff Fagien. Thank you for joining me as always, and I will catch you in the next video.